Okay, sorry, we need to pick this up again. I kind of went off on a rabbit trail, and I don't want to confuse you here. So, we've gotten two angles, right? We found the angle from the inverse cosine, then we subtracted from 180. Now we need the last side. So, we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem for that. The other thing is you could also use trigonometry. You could say, okay, well, I know a side and an angle. I can find the other side. But I'm just going to use Pythagorean theorem to give us some more review on that. Here's C, here's A, here's B. So C squared equals A squared plus B squared, or 13.6 squared equals 4 squared plus A squared. 13.6 squared, so 184.96 equals 16 plus A squared. 168.96 equals A squared. Take the square root of that, and I get A equals about 12.998. 13.0. So here's our missing side and our missing angles. All right, down the home stretch. Example of a diameter. A couple ways you could do this. You could do, no, I'm sorry, one way. I was thinking of something else. One way, one diameter, this is Vx from here to here. An inscribed angle, we have one inscribed angle, that's angle XVY, or also angle YVX. That's the same angle, it's just which order you do. A tangent would be line UT. A secant would be line VY. A chord could either be line segment VY or line segment VX. Those are all segments that are inside the circle. And a central angle would be angle WZX. All right, JL is a diameter. Okay, so that means this whole thing is 180 degrees, which means this is 90 degrees. And the measure of angle of arc JK is 55 degrees. So that means this is going to be 180 minus 55, which equals 125 degrees. Yeah. Okay, what is the measure of KJL? So here you've got an inscribed angle, and KJL is going to be half of this. So this equals 62.5. In the circle above, if angle JK is 20, oh, this should be JM. If JM is 20, what is the measure of MKL? Ooh, tricky. Okay, so if this is 20, then that means that this is 160 MKL. All right, so we know that this is 20 and 55, so that means this is 75. So the measure of KLM, angle KLM, is half of 55 plus 20, right? Because this whole angle is inscribing this arc. So that equals 37.5. Now, we also know that if this is 120, then this must mean this section right here is 160. So that means that the angle that inscribes this is going to be 80 degrees, just like this is 10 degrees. So now I've got 80 degrees, I've got 37.5 degrees. Okay. Did I say ln? Yeah. So this is, excuse me, this is 37.5 degrees. And now we got to know what this is. Well, it's half of 125, 62.5. Okay. Well, let's just double check. 62.5 plus 80 plus 37.5, 62.5 plus 80 plus 37.5 equals 180. Yay, they all add up. Okay. All right. In the circle, WX is 50 degrees and YZ is 130 degrees. What is the measure of WVX? So this is where we have our Bark-Clark formula. Big length minus little, big arc minus little arc over 2. $130 minus 50 over 2. 80 over 2, which equals 40. All right, arc length. I know some of you guys were struggling with this, but we got to keep it moving. And we got to keep pressing on, and we got to learn it, even if we didn't learn it before. So arc length, remember that is a portion of the circumference. So circumference is 2 pi r. R here is 8. So circumference is 2 times pi times 8, or 16 pi. Okay. Now I've got 120 degrees of, oh, this is JK, QR. We're going to find this one. So there's whole number. So this is QR. So we're saying that QR is proportional to its angle measure. So 120 degrees over a total of 360 is the same as x degrees over a total of, or x length, millimeters, or a total of 16 pi millimeters. So that means I've got 1/3 equals x over 16 pi. So x equals, if we multiply both sides by 16 pi, got 16 times 3.1416 times no, not times, divided by 3. So that equals about 17. Cylinder has a volume of 36 cubic inches. So V equals 36. That's equal to pi r squared times height. H equals 18. So I've got 36 equals pi times r squared times 18. Divide both sides by 18. Pi r squared equals 2. So divide both sides by pi. You get r squared equals pi, or 2 over pi. And so we're going to square that. R equals 4.4 tenths of an inch. So there we are. 0.4 inches. All right, a pyramid and a cube, last one, have identical bases. The height of the pyramid is half the height of the cube. The volume of the cube is 216. So V equals 216. This is a cube, which means we've got squares on all sides. So that means the length, we'll call it L, times the length is 216. So that means L equals 6. So it says the height is half. So that means this height is not 6. It's 3. So the volume of the pyramid is going to be big base, area of the big base, times height over 3. So this is going to be 36 times 3 over 3. The 3's cancel out, and I have 36 degrees. Not degrees, excuse me, 36 millimeters squared, or square meters. So there's our answer. Okay, I encourage you to practice. If you need more practice, if you feel like you've gotten through it, but now you're not sure if you can do it again, come ask me for some additional practice problems. But here is your final exam reviews. Good luck.